You ever notice how fragile confidence looks when it's built on validation? Watch what happens when a woman realizes the man she thought she could control no longer reacts. Her jokes don't sting. Her silence doesn't scare him. Her tests fall flat. That's when confusion turns into obsession. Because the real power isn't in breaking her ego, it's in being untouchable to it. See, most men chase approval. The rare few build presence. You don't win by arguing, proving, or attacking. You win by outgrowing. When your piece is more expensive than her attention, she starts questioning herself, not you. 1. The ego, what it is, and why men misread it. You think ego is a target. You think it's fragile, easy to crush, a button to press and watch someone crumble. That's a rookie view. Here's the reality. Ego is a social organizing mechanism. It's how someone protects value, reputation, and emotional safety. For women, as much as men, ego gets triggered by threat to dignity, status, or security. When you destroy it, publicly, privately, cleverly, you're signaling threat. Threat triggers defense. Defense triggers escalation, withdrawal, or social retaliation. That's not control, that's chaos. Psychology, quick version, ego identity. Plus reputation, plus need for predictability. It secures resources, emotional support, respect, investment. When you attack identity, you're attacking the story she tells herself. I am competent, I am desirable, I deserve respect. People compensate. She may escalate conflict, blur communication, or disengage. So why do some men try to break it? Two reasons. One, they mistake compliance for respect. If you humiliate someone into submission, you'll get compliance sometimes, but not long-term respect or attraction. Two, they confuse vulnerability with weakness. They think dominance requires putting the other down. Real dominance is calm competence, not cruelty. Where men go wrong in practice, they react emotionally to ego displays, shaming back, getting passive-aggressive. They attempt social humiliation, calling out flaws publicly, or they gaslight, deny, rewrite, or minimize. All of those are short-term wins with long-term costs, loss of trust, social blowback, and the drained emotional environment that repels high-value people. What actually works? Understand triggers, don't attack identity, escalate value instead of diminishing her. Build your own status, household, and options. Use scarcity of attention, not cruelty, and be non-reactive when tests arrive. In short, replace destruction with calibration. In the next part, we'll dismantle the common tactics guys use and show why they fail spectacularly. 1. The ego, what it is, and why men misread it. You think ego is a target. You think it's fragile, easy to crush, a button to press and watch someone crumble. That's a rookie view. Here's the reality. Ego is a social organizing mechanism. It's how someone protects value, reputation, and emotional safety. For women, as much as men, ego gets triggered by threat to dignity, status, or security. When you destroy it, publicly, privately, cleverly, you're signaling threat. Threat triggers defense. Defense triggers escalation, withdrawal, or social retaliation. That's not control, that's chaos. Psychology, quick version, ego identity, plus reputation, plus need for predictability. It secures resources, emotional support, respect, investment. When you attack identity, you're attacking the story she tells herself. I am competent, I am desirable, I deserve respect. People compensate. She may escalate conflict, blur communication, or disengage. So why do some men try to break it? Two reasons. One, they mistake compliance for respect. If you humiliate someone into submission, you'll get compliance sometimes, but not long-term respect or attraction. Two, they confuse vulnerability with weakness. They think dominance requires putting the other down. Real dominance is calm competence, not cruelty. Where men go wrong in practice, they react emotionally to ego displays, shaming back, getting passive-aggressive. They attempt social humiliation, calling out flaws publicly. Or they gaslight, deny, rewrite, or minimize. All of those are short term wins with long term costs, loss of trust, social blowback, and the drained emotional environment that repels high value people. What actually works? Understand triggers, don't attack identity, escalate value instead of diminishing her. Build your own status, household, and options. Use scarcity of attention, not cruelty, and be non reactive when tests arrive. In short, replace destruction with calibration. In the next part, we'll dismantle the common tactics guys use and show why they fail spectacularly. 3. Confidence versus arrogance. The line you can't afford to cross. If you want to be magnetic, understand this distinction. Confidence attracts, arrogance repels. It's subtle and guys keep missing it. Confidence is quiet. It's competence. Competence displayed without needing loud validation. Confident men lead by example. They speak clearly, choose without trembling, and accept rejection gracefully. Confident behavior says, I have options. I choose you. That last part, crucial. Attraction often comes from the combination of availability plus selectivity. You're available, but only to certain standards. Arrogance is loud. It's posturing to cover insecurity. It's the man who brags, belittles, and punctuates his sentences with insults disguised as humor. Arrogance is brittle. It cracks under pressure and reveals the needy person underneath. How to build real confidence. Skill and status. Develop useful skills and goals. Ambition communicates value without words. Routines. Fitness, finances, sleep, and social life. Stability breeds calm presence. Non-reactivity. Practice breathing, pausing, and responding rather than firing off. Reactivity is the giveaway of insecurity. Polite boundaries. Say no without apology. Saying no raises your perceived value. Behavioral examples. A confident guy hears an insult, shrugs and stays composed, returns to his life. A weak guy insults back publicly. Drama ensues. A confident man compliments openly and then moves on. An arrogant man tries to one-up or create competition. Women test with small things, teasing, comparison questions, passive jabs. Your job is not to punish tests, it's to pass them with calm boundaries. That means you can call out disrespect when necessary, but you don't weaponize correction. Correction plus calm, high status. Correction plus fury, low value. Attraction thrives where there's emotional competence. Build inner life. Value yourself. When your baseline is high, you no longer need to humiliate anyone to feel big. In part 4, we'll get tactical about boundaries, the non-violent, high-leverage moves that keep you respected. 4. Boundary power, how to enforce respect without being a jerk. Boundaries are the backbone of respect, but too many guys confuse boundaries with cruelty. Here's how to use boundaries like a high-value leader, firm, fair, and final. Why boundaries work? People value what's scarce and consistent. If your time and energy are unlimited, they're taken for granted. When you show that your investment is conditional and measured, you signal value. Boundaries are not punishment. They are clarity about what you will and will not accept. Core boundary types. Time boundary. You don't rearrange your life for trivial demands. If she cancels last minute frequently, enforce a consequence. Don't reschedule instantly. Emotional boundary, you won't be verbally abused or gaslit. If she talks down to you, call it out once, then enforce distance. Behavioral boundary. No public humiliation, no manipulative games. If it happens, remove yourself from the situation. How to set them without aggression. State the boundary calmly. I don't respond to being yelled at. If you want to talk, talk respectfully. Short, neutral, not dramatic. Describe the consequence. If this keeps happening, I'll step back for a few days. Consequences must be real and simple. Follow through. This is where most guys fail. If you said you'd step back, do it. No drama, no theatrics, just action. Reopen on terms. If she apologizes and changes behavior, re-engage. Boundaries are repairable. Why not punish? Punishment breeds resentment and escalation. Boundaries create structure. Think CEO, not bully. Leaders fire toxic behavior and replace it with standards. Examples in the wild? Texts come at 2 a.m. filled with accusations. You reply once the next day. I'll read this at a time when I can respond calmly. Let's discuss tomorrow. then you don't engage at 2 a.m. She publicly insults you. You address it privately? That comment wasn't okay. If it happens again in public, I'll step away. No spectacle. Boundaries shape relational dynamics. They teach people what kind of person you are and what you accept. Practice them daily. In part 5, we'll examine social proof, status signals, and how to amplify your value without degrading others. 5. Social proof and status signals that make humiliation irrelevant. If you want to be untouchable to cheap jabs, build status that lives outside the relationship. Social proof and status signals create a buffer. People won't test someone who clearly has options, respect, and results. Social proof basics. People look at who respects you to judge your value. If friends, coworkers, and strangers treat you well, that votes for you socially. Women take cues from that. Status isn't about money alone, it's competence, charisma, and associations. Practical status builders, visible competence. Be really good at something. Work, a craft, fitness. Competence is a quiet magnet. Network, maintain friends who add value. High-quality social circles signal high-quality selection. Presence, cultivate calm energy. Walk like you own your day, not like you're scrambling for approval. Narrative, tell stories that show you have direction. People buy into stories. Non-toxic signaling, do this, not that. Do invest in hobbies, work, and fitness. Do cultivate friends who respect you publicly. Don't brag or belittle others to look big. That's flimsy and cringe. How status neutralizes humiliation attempts. If someone tries to shame you and the room already respects you, the attempt often falls flat. People instinctively side with stable, known value. So instead of retaliating, rely on your social anchors, small, confident jokes, or a calm redirection. Example, someone throws a low blow. You smile, change the subject, or introduce a new topic. The social momentum shifts away from drama. Signal scarcity without cruelty. Let your actions imply option richness. Don't text back instantly every time. Have a life outside the relationship. When your attention is earned, it's valued. Status plus boundary plus non-reactivity, shy resilience. You become the man who's not worth trying to tear down. That's the goal. Part 6 will give you conversation tactics that pass tests and redirect conflict without manipulation. 6. Tactical conversations. Passing tests without playing games. Women, like men, use conversational tests to see if you're stable. Tests are usually small, teasing, a comparison question, or a probe into your jealousy. Passing tests doesn't require mind games or cruelty. It requires emotional intelligence and tactical phrasing. The test map. Seeding. A small jab to measure reaction. Escalation. More intense if reaction shows weakness. Resolution. Either calming or full-blown conflict. Tactical moves, ethical and effective. Agree and add. When teased, agree briefly and add a value statement. Example. She says, "You're late again." Reply, "Yeah, I run on my own clock. That's why my projects finish on time. Let's start." You're not defensive, you reframe to competence. Light teasing back, sparingly. Use humor to deflect, not wound. Humor diffuses. Example. True, I'm late. I was scheduling my 20-minute victory lap. Question to clarify. Tests often hide an unmet need. Ask, what makes you bring that up? That turns accusation into data. Calm contradiction. If she gaslights, state facts neutrally. I don't remember that. Here's what I do remember. No theatrics. Timeout technique. If emotions spike, suggest a pause. This isn't productive right now. Let's revisit when we're calm. Walk away, then follow up. Reward positive behavior. When she communicates respectfully, reciprocate with warmth. Positive reinforcement works better than punishment. Avoid these traps. One-upping, trying to out-hurt her, only escalates. Stonewalling forever. Temporary cool-off is fine. Permanent silence is cowardice. Manipulative tests. Don't create fake drama to test her loyalty, and that's emotional abuse. Remember, conversations are information. Use them to calibrate whether she's a partner or a problem. If she consistently crosses boundaries, decide whether to invest resources. Your time is your currency. Spend it where it yields returns. In part 7, we tie all this into a daily routine and mindset that builds lasting attractiveness without cruelty. 7. Daily routines and mindsets become unbreakable. You want results that last. That means turning the principles into habits. Here's a concrete daily blueprint to build magnetic, non-toxic leadership. Morning, win the day. Movement, 20-40 minutes of exercise. Energy equals presence. Priority list, 3 key tasks. Finish one before noon. Competence creates calm. Cold check, 5 minutes of breath meditation to practice non-reactivity. Midday, compound value. Skill time, 30 to 60 minutes on work or craft. Visible progress signals, competence. Social maintenance, text or check in with social anchors, high-quality friends, mentor. Evening, refinement and status. Reflection, note. One success, one area to adjust. Growth beats drama, selective socializing. Choose company that uplifts you. Avoid energy vampires. Mindset rules. Respect is reciprocal. Give it, expect it. If someone refuses, reduce investment. Calm is more powerful than loud. Reserve theatrics for the stage, not the relationship. Options, threats. When you have options, you don't need to coerce. Repairability is key. Relationships should allow honest repair, not permanent punishment. Weekly rituals. One day of deep focus on work, craft, one high-value social outing, one check-in conversation to align expectations with your partner or friends. When it's time to walk away, if someone repeatedly disrespects boundaries after they've been clearly stated and enforced, walking away isn't cruelty. It's self-respect. That action often teaches more than punishment could. Final note. The men who obsess over destroying a woman's ego are usually hiding insecure attachments. Replace that fixation with competence, boundaries, and status. Build yourself and people will naturally treat you differently, without you needing to break anyone down. The truth is, destroying a woman's ego was never the goal. That's low-level thinking. The goal is to master your own. Because when you're grounded, selective, and non-reactive, the world bends differently around you. Respect comes without threats. Attraction happens without effort. And ego, hers, yours, anyone's, stops being a battlefield. So don't waste energy trying to break people. Build yourself so strong that no one's attitude can shake you. That's the quiet kind of dominance that never needs to shout. That's the man she can't replace.